is one of the ingredients of Bragot, which is this type of a beer that they make in Lettenhof. Right, so I can go on and deeper and deeper, but let's go back to the monsters.
Yes.
But I mean, I could actually add a little bit to that. Yeah, basically, our reference for this one was based on wasp nests. So that's pretty much how we constructed the identity of this monster. We couldn't go completely on bees. Bees are very cute. They're very cuddly. Yes. They're very lovable. So we needed something like slightly scarier. So we went for wasps and hornets and all of this stuff.
The wasps are assholes, you know.
Can we also show the other gameplay of Swarmian? Because we had something more prepared where they're like not just one.
Yes. Let's see what happens when
the second clip.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess we can show it next time.
Yes.
Okie doke.
Well, actually, on that note, because for everybody that is here at the booth, there are 2 photo points with a couple of other monsters. And we, of course, are getting questions about what exactly people are taking photos with. Can we share anything about them?
Not really. I mean, we can share that they are very important characters in the story. The issue is that as soon
Oğlum şeyle mi uğraşacağım ya? Ben 11-12 yıldır bekliyorum. Kimde değil valla. Ben kendi heyecanımı yaşayamadım. Aptal yorum geliyor. Sinir oluyorum böyle şeylere ya. Ya bırak amına koyayım. Ben 11 senedir bekliyorum. Başkası şey değil yani. Gelmiş eli sikimde geliyor buraya. Salak salak konuşuyor yani. Vallahi sinir etti yemin ediyorum. Bırakacak. Kendim izleyeceğim ya. Böyle rahat abi.
as I say one word about it, I'm gonna spoil everything, and we want to leave that to the players. But yeah, what I can say is that in the next expansion, you can definitely expect new monsters, but also new boss fights. And the boss fight that you've seen today during the demo is obviously not the only one. So I'm gonna leave it at that.
Perfect. Keep them wanting more.
So, again, you mentioned new monsters. How was it for you to design those new monsters? Where are you taking ideas from to design, like come up with Swarmian? Was it just like a natural choice to do it, or you had like back and forth within the team?
I mean, we knew that we wanted to have a monster which is tied to the location, right, to Letten. But we knew that this has to be, if it needs to be tied, then it needs to be tied to like what they do, what they gather, right, like where they come from. But as to the design process, I'm gonna pass the voice to Len because it has been a process, and there has been a lot of meetings and conversations about it.
Yeah, so basically it's a tandem of 2 things. Usually gameplay would want to have like, okay, we want this monster to do this, and then send out all of those hornets and all of those things. You know, they give us pretty much the primary architecture of what they'd like to do. Then from our side, from art, we gather information from the narrative designers. Like, okay, so what do we have in our industries? We have these beehives everywhere. Do we want to latch onto that? Yes. Okay.
Gameplay
cool.
bir
So if
30
we
saat
want an
aşar bence
association
ya.
with beehives,
İş
then
yerinde
maybe
izliyorum.
we should
Ben de
design
iş
this
başında
monster
izliyorum.
with a little bit more influence from that species or a related species in our case, and marry all of that
bence.
together. So sometimes we go deep into the details.
Vallahi ben
well,
çok memnun
in terms
kaldım
of the
abi
anatomy of the
gördüklerimizden.
character. Like, if we know
Gameplay
that,
de olacak
I'm
aynen.
just gonna just vaguely throw something, right?
Kasabadan büyük.
If we know that the monster jumps a lot, we want to develop the muscles around that part of that monster's anatomy to justify what he is actually able to do.
Abi bütün görevlerle bir
Yeah,
30-40 saati
that's
bulur ben
basically
söyleyeyim.
what we're going for in general when we design art, always from a grounded perspective.
And I guess on that note, what sort of emotions
Bomba gibi bir şey geliyor. O kadar sürer bak görürsün.
players are experiencing the world
Tens of
and the monsters
quest
themselves, but also
dediler.
the
Bak, tens of.
characters that we will
Tons
come
of.
across
Tens.
in Len?
Tens. Ne dedi lan? Onlarca işte ya.
That depends on the moment and
Yeah.
the story, obviously.
Ne dedi lan?
Themselves, but also as players are experiencing the world and the monsters themselves, but also the characters that we will come across in Len.
That depends on the moment and
Yeah.
the story, obviously. But what I can say is that, you know, in the process
Senaryo
of designing
sızmasını
the
görmedim.
quests and the story, we always have this one question, like Len mentioned earlier. We always ask why. But there's also another question, like what do we want the player to feel in that very particular moment? And one overarching theme that we have is nostalgia of homecoming, right? It's not girls' homecoming, I know, but it's Dandelion.
Eve dönüşün
And you as his
nostaljisi
best mate
üzerine
are
bir
gonna
şeyler,
share
hikaye.
into those feelings and themes. And you know, the meal that you've seen during the demo, right? That's the favorite moment. My most favorite moment in the whole demo is like when Geralt sits in the middle and there's the grandma and Lilia, and he goes like, "Trouble," you know, and you can just feel the
Aynen,
tension
Dandelion
in the
üzerine.
air. All of us, at least once in life, probably have been during had participated in a breakfast that was exactly had this tension, right? And you were just an observer. You weren't like an obstacle in the middle. So, in that regard, in that way, we were trying to design every single important story beat that you have, so that things speaks for themselves when you're in them, right? So, as I mentioned, the overarching emotion I would say is nostalgia of homecoming, but you will experience a whole plethora of emotions during this ride with Dandelion.
Amazing. Len, do you have anything you want to... Sorry.
Yeah, I think I could give also a little bit of information. Because animation is also a part of the art team. And it's when we're trying to determine like how a monster behaves or how a character behaves and how they should appeal to the player when you're encountering them.
Şu kepsi kapa
The
harbi ya.
question that we typically ask is who? Who were they? Who are they now? What kind of feelings do you want to evoke out of this character based on the narrative that he was given? So, and that pretty much determines how they stand, how they walk. And it's normally showing off contrast. Because you can't just go like, all right, I'm just going to maul you again and again and again. That's not contrast. Contrast is basically like, no. I'm going to step away. And usually it's in the slower movements that something gets scarier.
Teşekkür ederim
Because
Yasin'cim.
that's a build-up
Kesene
to
bereket.
the mauling. That will probably happen later. So it's all about that. Like you want a little bit of contrast. You want to scare the player.
Hikayenin üzerine
Sometimes you want
iyi
the players to
düşünmüşler
feel
bayağı ya.
a lot more rewarded for fighting a monster. So you want the monster to feel weaker. So that's pretty much what we go for.
Yeah. There's a lot of preparation coming in before even like mock-ups start. And the result is like during the meal scene when Lilia walks in, even before she says, "We need to assemble a search party," you can see in her walk that she's ready for action. Like something happened, and she's like, "Yes, I'm ready to go." You know. So yeah, animation is a huge part of it.
You can hear it. You can hear it in her walk. It's also a part of sound design.
Yes.
The way that she drops her foot onto the ground, that speaks confidence.
Yes.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree. On the monsters, I suppose you might be able to, without spoiling anything, give an idea, maybe, of maybe your favorite encounter that you've worked on so far that you're really excited for the players to experience?
Bence konuşmayacak.
Well, without spoiling anything, I would say it's the Guardian of the Well. It's because like every single element in that boss fight has a reason to be there. So there's a reason why there are violet flowers in the arena.
Yok,
There's
say
a
onu da
reason
sormadılar.
why he plucks one and gives to Lila before starting the fight, basically. And this boss fight is the effect of collaboration of all of our departments in Full Theory and CD
Hoş geldin Murat.
Projekt. You know, like even the brightness of the lighting
Görüntüler
of the
hoş.
arena has been worked on for days just to get it right, for the mood to settle in and the boss fight to start. And also, like, Guardian is a very unique opponent in terms of other opponents that you had the chance to meet in Witcher before. He is very elegant. He's a fencer, more like. He has a distinctive fighting style, and he will require from Geralt, you know, doing a little bit something different than his usual, you know, bash him with the sword until he lies down. Yeah.
Is he more difficult than the Toad Prince?
Oh my God.
Toad
The
Prince'ten-
Prince was. Yeah.
There was
it
a question in the chat,
That was
so-
very difficult. I would say that depends on your play style. What we're trying to do,
Oynanışınıza
also
göre
with the
değişir diyor.
introduction of the chain, is that we
Saycım.
are trying to open up the
Teşekkür
combat
ederim
for
Buracığım.
more different play styles. The rebalance and the new skill trees also that EXOFT introduced in
şeyler
the
söylüyor.
remaster are supposed to also not give you like, oh, there's something new and I'm gonna get new skills. This rework is supposed to also even out all the rough edges that we had in the past in different combats. So I would say depending on what your playstyle is, but our main, main focus in creating a boss fight is to always create a challenge for you. So
Zorlu bir challenge olacak gibi
We
herhalde
have a
ama
little
play
glimpse
style'ına
of-
göre
Swarmians
Oh.
again.
güzel
getting
duruyor.
beheaded, that's my
Şuna bak. Bacağından, kafasından falan çekebiliyoruz. Güzel.
Of Swarmians again.
getting beheaded. That's my favorite finisher right there.
More Swarmians. I don't think I'm gonna like those guys.
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
freaky.
Well,
Oo! Oğlum güzel duruyor lan.
Like those guys.
Bak zincirle vuruyor da.
well, it is in the name, Swarmians.
Abi. Çok güzel olmuş bence.
They swarm you, right? So there's gonna be a lot of them.
Too in depth, got something that you're just
Ne oldu lan?
cannot wait for people to experience. Too in depth,
Swarm you,
Yayın mı
right? So
sıçradı?
there's gonna be a lot of them.
too in depth, got something that you're just cannot wait for people to experience.
I mean, Kuba stole my answer. Like,
No, I didn't steal
I-
it. It's just the same answer.
yeah, it's just the same answer. But to be honest, I was about to also say, yeah, it's the Guardian or the Slumbering Knight, as he's known in the game, because he is rich with history that I will not reveal, obviously. But
Zincir
I
biraz
know
aynen
a
yan
lot of,
yan oynamış gibi.
behind the scenes tidbits on how we created him, and it was complex. Like as Kuba mentioned, like
Bir şey soracağım. Bu yayını sadece üyeler mi görebiliyor yoksa üyeler mi yazabiliyor? Bu yayın nasıl bir yayın acaba?
he's a fencer, and when we were basically designing his combat, when we were designing like his moveset throughout this combat, we were like, we want to contrast this with Geralt. Geralt is pretty much a blade dancer, but a fencer would be faster than him. So we figured, what if he attacks like twice faster?
Sadece
than
biz
him,
izliyoruz.
you know? Yeah, so we were actually like brainstorming that, and we were trying to figure out how to reflect that in the way he attacks. And I also know a little bit of tidbit with regards to how we did the sound design. Because that was also a part of like how do you
İzleyebileyim diye
reflect
üye
his
oldum.
characterization through sound. Oh,
Lan tüm yayını
he
yapmışım.
feels a little bit like he's like half monster, but there is also a little bit of humanity in him. And so actually behind the scenes we put the voice actor in
Yanlışlıklar
there.
olmuş.
So if you listen very carefully,
Mert'cim,
there's
teşekkür
actually
ederim.
a little bit of humanity in the way that he
Mükemmel
sounds.
bakışın için.
So, more to him later, you'll find out.
So much,
we
so much
cannot wait.
teasing.
Okay, guys. So
Düzeltemiyoruz mu bunu
we're
ya?
here at Gamescom right now on one of the sites on our streaming booth. There is like a massive queue to
Düzeltebiliyormuşuz
watch
lan,
the
dur.
presentation, right? We also have the presentation, the business area. So there will be plenty people watching it. what emotions
Tamam,
are you
düzelttik.
hoping for them to feel when they see it for the very first time? Because I know you guys are very excited, probably a bit nervous and stressed out, but so far the reception is really good. So, what are you hoping for to hear?
I mean, just happiness. Like, I got into video games because I wanted to do something that brings happiness to people. And that's always my aim, to make game that will just make your day a little bit better. So I'm glad that people are hyped. I'm hyped as well. Yeah,
Are you people in the chat hyped? Please write hype if you are hyped.
What about
For
you?
me, it's nostalgia. Because it's been, what, 11 years since
Geldi
we
ya.
last seen Geralt?
Gojira,
And
o
for a
zaman
while
daha
we
fazla
thought
üye
he was
lazım
never
değil.
coming
5 tane
back.
üyelik
He was going
çıktı.
on
Burucu.
holiday for a very long time.
Hemen güncelleyelim.
And we want to bring that
900.
spirit back to this whole new generation
54.
of gamers. It's literally an entire new generation now. And we want to bring him back and have
Peki chat'i
everybody
nasıl yapıyoruz abi?
experience what it was like to be Geralt 11 years ago.
Videoya bakacağız.
Except this time it's fresh in a different place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really nice. So,
Oğlum
I
ayarları bir
wonder as well. Obviously,
Öğrenemedik ya.
in talking about this, and I don't know how much we can go in depth on this, but I was just thinking, Len, as you were talking about the differences and the sort of
yapabiliyorum sanırım.
sound
Yapsana onu
aspects
ya.
of creating monsters and the thought process that goes into that. Can you talk a little
Bütün
bit
dikkatim dağıldı
on,
anasını satayım ya.
I guess, how do you approach monster design from character design? Because they are
Ekran
characters,
siyah biliyorum.
but we experience them and we fear them in quite different ways from human to human interactions. So any tidbits you might be able to share on how that is working in a game like The Witcher, which is hunting monsters?
So in terms of character design, we're talking about just humans, right?
Yeah.
48 falan mıydı?
Yeah.
Kaç
so
oldu ki senin?
if we're talking
36.
about humans, we try to basically get a little bit of
Şu an
a brief
üyeler
from
mesaj
the narrative
atabiliyor
team.
ama
Like, what is the personality
mi?
of this character? Is she? I'm just thinking of Lila, off the top of my head right now. Is she confident? Is she
Kapitalist cephe.
Adventurous? Because this determines how she's gonna stand.
Bu yayınlar öyle
So we
olsun
have this
ya.
thing,
Sadece şu
in
an ama
animation
görebiliyorlar
where
değil mi?
If a
Bir
character
dakika,
is
şimdi sussun bir de şu. Şu an canlı yayını görebiliyorlar ama üyeler mesaj atabiliyor. Is that true? Doğru mu bu? Tam kapitalist sistem. Herkes her şeyi görebiliyor ama zenginler mesela. Aynen. İyi olmayan hesabım var görüyor. Okey. Tamam. Abi yok. Ben mücadele edemem. Ben kanal büyürse hep böyle olacak. Dikkatim dağılıyor yani. Sıkıntılıymış.
idling around, you have an idle pose. And the idle pose is the base characterization of
Arkada Geralt var lan. Gördünüz mü şurada? 7 tane modun var. Abi halletmediler, ne yapayım?
of these NPCs. And it gives you the base personality
Yine bir görüntü geçti mi? Ufak ufak fightlar gösterildi.
showing to people. Because pretty much there are some characters who don't have a lot of confidence, and they would be standing in a very different way from a character who is sure of themselves. And that's pretty much how we determine how they're going to represent themselves on the screen. This is pretty much what we would brief the person that we are capturing mocap from to put into this character. It's we basically
Karakter
tell them
altyapısından bahsediyor.
you're very sure of yourself, you're very confident, you are this age, because of course confidence of a 20-year-old.
Yayında kayma var. Çok durdurdum çünkü bak. Daha buraları izleyeceğiz.
Right? So
bitecek ama şimdi. Orayı ben canlı yayına getireceğim.
Goes into the character on
Görüşürüz
how they
Gojira.
behave and how they talk. So yeah.
super cool.
We are slowly running out of time for this
İyi,
one
iyi.
because
Bayağı konuştular.
everyone has
Yes.
very busy schedule. Koopa's gonna stay with us
Yeah.
for the next one. But Len, it was very lovely to have you. Do you have any final words before we wrap up this segment of the stream that you want to share?
Bundan
I
sonra
mean, for
gameplay
me,
geliyor
it's
galiba.
like, I love you all. Thank you for coming to Gamescom. Thank you for seeing our wonderful baby that we've been working very long and hard for. And I really appreciate being here with you.
We're so happy you were here with us, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So I guess we will wrap it up now. We will take a short break. We will have some sips of water, refresh, get ready for
Yes.
what's next. Kubo will be returning. We've trapped him in here with us.
Yeah.
The glass cube.
Yes, he's stuck in the glass cube with us. So we will see you in roughly 30 minutes' time. So we'll see you again soon, chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye.
Bye bye. Ömer sal gelsinler. Aç canlı yayını kurtuluş. Bitmedi Red Streams. Bir yarım saat sonra gene başlayacağız. Bu partta oyunun şeyleri gösterildi ya. İşte düşman altyapıları falan filan gösterildi. Biraz fightlar nasıl olacak? Zincir şeylerini gösterdiler. Canavarları gösterdiler. Boss'un nasıl olduğu gösterildi. Ya bunların zaten detaylı videolarını yaparım ben. Başlıca beğendiklerini anlat bakalım. Çok geç geldim. Abi evrenin altyapısını iyi hazırlamışlar bence. Ya iyi çalışılmış gene. Tam Witcher evrenine yakışır şekilde bölgenin, Latinov dedikleri bölgenin altyapısına iyi çalışmışlar. Yani öyle hissettiriyor en azından. Karakterlerin altyapısına iyi çalışmışlar. Düşman altyapısına iyi çalışmışlar. Geliştirmişler yani. Bir Witcher'dan ne bekliyorsan onların hepsine iyi çalışılmış gibi gözüküyor şimdilik. Anlattıklarına göre. Aynen zincirle vurmak istediğimiz yere ayarlamak iyi. Bu kadar çok şey göstermeleri doğru mu? Yani 11 senelik oyun için okey. Yeni bir oyun için değil ama 11 senelik. 4. oyuna kadar ilaç gibi evet. Bahçe, doğa, hayvan. Aynen abi. Biraz doğa üzerinden ilerleyen bir durum var. Benim şimdi yanlışlıkla 2 yayınım mı oldu lan? Diğeri kapandı gitti mi? En çok neyi beğendin? En çok abi Geralt'ın oynanışının ufak da olsa değişmiş olması ya. O bayağı hoşuma gitti. Zincir Vesemir kullanıyordu Nightmare of the Wolf animasyon filminde. Acaba Vesemir'den bize Vesemir'den kalabilir. Ama sanmıyorum. Vesemir yok ki. Bir yere koymuş mu olabilir? Bu ne ya? Mert Karsla'dan 5 adet inan Köselek üyeliği geldi. Teşekkür ediyorum Mert'cim. 559 olduk. 1000 oluyoruz lan. Az kaldı 1000'e. Merak ettiğim şey seri mutasyonlar zincir vesaire geçişi gösterecekler mi serinin en azından 1 saatlik bir geçiş gösterilecek mi? Abi Siri hiç olur mu onu bile sanki olmayacak gibi de. Bak Kokul hasta olmuş ya. Siri'nin zincire geçmesi gerekiyor evet ama nasıl olacak acaba? Remaster'a gerçekten gerek var bence yoktu zaten Next Gen bir nevi remaster'dı ama skill'leri değiştirmişler abi. Normalde gerek yok derdim ben de ama biraz oynanış değişeceği için biraz okey de oldum açıkçası. Teşekkür ederim Buracı Avox. Vakasına daha pişirme lazım. 2 yıl sonra falan ne olacak bu diye. 2027 sonu olmaz ya. Fanmet Leşon Okulu. Leşon Okulu ne lan? Geralt ölmeyecek oğlum. Geralt Witcher 4'te var. Devrancım bir adet üyelik hediye ederek 60 yaptı orayı. Teşekkür ederim. Bizi bu stresten kurtardın abi. Ne zaman için? Ben Mayıs diye tahmin etmekteyim. Witcher'ın geleneksel yayınlanma zamanı. Öyle bir tahminim var. Belki olur. ...18 Mayıs mı? 19 Mayıs! Atatürk gibi çıkacağız oğlum. Arkadaşlar ben bir kaka yapacağım. Özür dilerim ama... ...sıçmam lazım. Ömer buralar sana emanet babuş. Ve diğer modlarım tabii ki. Hayvanlık yapanlara... Gerçi ben tuvaletten bakarım. Oğlum bayağıdır böyle bir şey yaşamamıştım ya. Aynen. Beni bu saatte sadece Witcher buraya getirir. Tuvalette chat okumuyorsun. Kardeşim belki birileriyle mesajlaştım tuvaletteyken. Ha? Bunun parayla ne alakası var? Belki birilerine yazdım. Oğlum zaten amına koyayım ben kaç saattir uyumuyorum ya. Oha! Oğlum ben en son ne zaman uyandım? Bir dakika lan. Abi ben pazartesi günü akşam 6'da kalktım. Hala uyumadım. Kaç saat ediyor lan? Altıdan 6'ya olsa 24 ediyor. 3 saate 48 ediyor. 44 saat olmuş. Ben o yüzden bu kadar sıçtım. Vay ananı. 44 saat ise bir de üstüne 12 saatlik. Yok. Oğlum bugün daha benim işim var bir de ya. Abi affedersin ama öyle bir şey... Yo ben Burdur'a gittiğimde de hiç uyumadım. Burdur'a gittiğimde de kaç saatlik... Burdur'a gittiğimde de 30 saat falan uyumamıştım. Daha yeni yani. Abi nasıl ya? Bro işten işte. Oğlum bak. Pazartesi 6'da kalktım tamam mı bak anlatayım size anlayacaksınız. Pazartesi 6'da ben kalktım. Ondan sonra akşama kadar Fethiye'de Ertuğrul diye arkadaşım var onunla takıldık. Gece 1-2 falan. Ben dedim ki yatayım. Yattıktan sonra zaten 3-3.30 gibi kalkacağım. Uçağa geçeceğim oradan. Fethiye'den uçak yok İstanbul'a. Dalaman'a geçeceğim şeyle. Otobüsle. O da 4'te var işte. 4-4.30 gibi otobüs var. Ben 3.30'da evden çıkmayı düşünüyorum ki durağa yürüyeyim. Oradan otobüs alsın beni götürsün. Ulan 1 saat 1,5 saat var derken biraz da biriyle konuştuk. Saat geldi anasını satayım 3.30'a. 3.30'a gelince de çıktım. Ondan sonra orada otobüsü bekledim. Otobüs geldi. Çıktım gittim. Şeye bindim. Dalaman arabasına. Uçakla İstanbul'a geldim. İstanbul'a geldiğimde zaten saat 9'du. Sabah 9. Bir tane video yapmam gerekiyordu. Bu kanal için değil. Onunla uğraştım akşama kadar. Zaten kaçta yayına girdim ben? 8'de yayına girdim. 4 saat yayın sürdü. 4 saat yayın bitti. Ardından yine biraz konuşmalar falan oldu. Biraz onlarla konuştum. Biraz ayarlamam gereken işler vardı. Onları hallettim. Sabah oldu. Annem kalktı. Annem işe gidecekti. Beraber kahvaltı yaptık. Kahvaltı yaptıktan sonra Instagram'da bu şeyi gördüm. Paylaşılmıştı. 9 gibi falan paylaşmışlardı. Witcher Red Streams'i. Onda yayın açılacaktı zaten. Onu açtım. 44 saat olmuş bunların hepsi. Lan bana hiç öyle gelmedi lan. Aşktan fark edememiş adam uyumadığını. Oğlum boku yedim. Ben şu an niye çok enerjiyim lan? Niye böyle? Fazla enerjik hissediyorum. Ben şimdi daha bu yayın bitecek. Bu yayından sonra çıkacağım. Havalimanına gideceğim. Havalimanında insan karşılayacağım. Oradan Kadıköy'e geçeceğim. Kadıköy'den Mustafa'ya geçeceğim. Mustafa'dan almam gereken eşyalar var. Oğlum yolda melde bayılmayalım lan. Buluşmada bayılma. Yok. Acaba tuvalet... Yok oğlum hiç uyuyamıyorum zaten. Kadıköy deme, İstanbul'a gelesim geliyor. Az uyumak erken yaşlanma. Ben yaşlıyım oğlum zaten. Serikanya'da bir demirci olacakmış. Fena. Vücut önce yorgun düşüyor. Baktı uyku yok. Bir enerji patlatıyor. Eğer şimdi uyumazsan ikinci dalga gelecek. Uyku daha sert vuracak. Uyuyamam abi şu an. Şu an uyuyamam. ...43 yaşındaki biri için... Kadıköy neden o kadar güzel? Uyku açar yani. Kadıköy güzel değil lan o kadar. Halüsinasyon görüyor musun? Yok. Uyu abi. Uyurken seni izleriz bir de. 43 müsün sen? Yaşlıyım ben ya. KPSS'nin Allah belasını Vedat'cığım. Çok haklısın. Abi Laden Dandelion'un memleketiymiş Witcher'ın resmi sitesinde yazıyor. Okuduk ya balım. Bal böceğim. Okuduk ya bunları. Adamı 43 sanacak. 43 değilim oğlum, 34'üm. Ama benim adım bal böceği. Yakalarsam sokarım iğneyi. Abi şu maplere bir daha bakalım ya. Oğlum mükemmelim. Hayat köseye zor. Ama Witcher çıkacağı vakitler böyle olacağını biliyordum ben yani. Witcher çıkmaya yakın. O yüzden bana şimdi üyelik atmak zorundasınız. 44 saattir ayakta olan bu adam 250 üyeliği hak etmiyor mu? Sorarım size. Ey Witcher halkı. Çakmağım nerede? İyi yayınlar. Teşekkür ederim Batuhan. Dün aldın alacağını olmaz. Param yok ama ediyorsun. Abi DJ Akman seninle ilk defa... Seninle ilk defa yanıyorum sana. Seni seviyorum. Seni... Lan sen de... Abi şey soracağım. Latin nere? Latin Hove yeni değil. Dandelion'ın Kerrak'taki memleketi. Sadece memleket değil, ailesi oğlum yayında izledik ya bunların hepsini. Abi 34 olmak nasıl bir his, anlatır mısın? Aynı. İşte bu be asrıncım be, asrın adamısın sen be, kral adamsın be, teşekkürler asrın. Beğenelim, like'ını kalbini atalım, yorum bile atalım, helal be. Aa yazamıyoruz lan. Helal be. Teşekkürler bro. Ustam kitaplardan telif ücreti yok oğlum. Kitaplardan telif ücreti Türkiye'de %10. Yarak yürek isimler uydurmuşlar. Saat kaçta bitiyor? 3.30'da bitiyor yayın. 3 olmadı lan saat. Türkist Taylan kalp kalp kalp kalp. Ben 500 atsam siktir çeker. Asrına yaptığına bak. Kardeşim biz senin yanına memleketine geldik. Daha ne istiyorsun göt veren? 3600 lira bilet parası. Her gün beraber takıldık. Daha ne istiyorsun? Benim gibi ünlü, seksi, yakışıklı, inanılmaz mükemmel bir adamla. Yayın başladığında üyelik, aynen üye moduna geçeceğiz. Üye modu derken izleyebileceksiniz ama onu yanlış yapmışım ben. Üyeler konuşabilecek. Orada Letton orası mı oluyor? Olmaması lazım. Biri benim yanıma Almanya'ya gelebilsem geleyim zaten Almanya'ya. Abi komik zeki yakışıklı kombosuna sahip olan %1'lik kes evet. Adam yine senin videonu bile izledi. Bu şerefe erişemedik daha. İşte abi yaranamıyoruz ya. Yaranamıyoruz bu göt verene. Aa başladı. Gameplay gelecek infosu sabahtan beri ekranda dönüyor ya kardeşim. Gameplay nasıl 5 gibi falan ya. Nasıl 5 gibi oğlum ya. Ben 5'e kadar duramam. Oğlum bak burada yazıyor ya 13.45 14.30 Gameplay and Features Overview. 5'e kadar bayılamam. Bu ne? Selin beni takip etmiş. Selam Selin.
So Kuba's back. We also have Moritz now on the couch. Moritz is our gameplay engineering lead at Yigsoft. So thank you for joining us, Moritz. And we are calling Peter back in.
Ömer,
So Peter,
Ömerciğim.
have we got you?
There he is.
He's back.
Yes, I do.
Welcome back, Peter.
Hello.
Ömer chat'i üye yap.
And we're gonna repeat that every now and again.
Chat üye yap.
We just showed you guys the trailer of the third expansion to Witcher 3, Songs of the Past. Today we are talking only about Songs of the Past during English streams. Germans, get ready for what's to come. And yes, now we wanna give you a glimpse into what's coming when it comes to gameplay and features. Meaning Gwent.
Yes.
A lot of Gwent.
Yeah.
So
Aha.
Gwent folks, get ready.
Gwent Fox.
And as a reminder, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, and Steam. So if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We see it. We will pick it. Some of the questions. So, you know, drop the good ones. We already have some in mind that we're going to ask our guests. And if you want to share some feedback, some nice words to our guests, to our devs in Warsaw, in other cities, there's a QR code. Please scan it and drop us a message.
Absolutely. And
Klavyeyle bir şeyler yazıyor bak.
today, guys, we are going to be showing some gameplay, some snippets here and there as we're
23 ayın
discussing.
kutlu olsun
So
Nitrex.
also get to share a little bit of game with you alongside everybody that gets to see the demo here at Gamescom. Please keep in mind that everything that we're showing you is
Oğlum
work in
susadım
progress.
ya. Dur şunu durdurayım su alayım. Canlı yayını durduran adam. Tosako into your witcher, ovalıyor plenty. Aha üyelik gelmiş. Nitrex 2 kişiye saplama üyelik göndermiş. Bugün 1000 olsun. Bugün 1000 olabilir aslında. Bir baba yiğit çıkıp 50 tane atacak şimdi, iyi izle. Şunu güncel. Teşekkürler Nitrex.
So at times you might hear a little bit of noise pick up in our mics just from the booths around us. We apologize, but that's us being live, baby. And on that note as well, if there's any technical issues, it might just be a very brief second with our connection. Bear with us, and we'll keep it running. Let's dive in.
Yes.
And I'm gonna kick us off with a question that has already come up quite a bit from the community on the streams, on Twitter, everywhere, which is obviously one of the biggest gameplay additions that we're seeing is Geralt's chain.
Evet, Geralt Chain. Hadi bakalım.
Of adding Geralt's chain
Aha.
that some may remember back from Witcher 1 days back into the game.
Well, you know, as you mentioned, it was already showcased in Witcher 1 trailer ages ago, and it's something that has been popping up since that moment. Like, there were various attempts on realizing the chain and Geralt having been able to fight with it.
Ha bunları gösterdi ya
But,
lan.
you know, when the Songs of the Past started development,
Evet, bunları gördüm.
it just felt like a natural addition that finally we have the moment and capabilities to add it. You know, few things have to happen, like stars had to align, and Ubisoft help
düşürtüyor
was
böyle.
needed as well
Saplıyor mu?
for
Yok,
preparing the
saplamadı da.
remaster, because there wasn't an option to add the chain before without doing this little tweaks and fixes for the combat itself, because otherwise it would be just too clunky, frustrating, and not really any help. Whereas now, after the changes that Moritz will in a second probably deep dive into, it's a very cool crowd control weapon.
Topluluk kontrol eden bir weapon.
All right. And I guess on this, so how does the chain sort of change the flow of combat compared to the use of swords and signs, which we're more used to?
Well, it's a weapon that you equip in the same slot as the crossbow, basically, and it kind of reuses some of the mechanics. So as you've seen on the clip out there, you can aim at an enemy. There are some weak spots that appear. We're going to talk about it in a second. But basically, the aiming is similar to the crossbow. Time slows down. You can decide
Aynen,
which
arbelet slotunda.
weak spot you want to target, and then after you release the chain, you bring the enemy to you. And if you tap attack in the right time window, you're gonna execute a finisher, like we've seen over here with the with the beheading. That's my favorite one. But that's not all. The chain is also a very fast weapon, a really good tool for crowd controlling. So if you have like a group of enemies, a swarm of swarming you, you can basically use the chain to break up the group, bring one up to you, you know, land a few hits, dodge back, use another chain on another one, and keep it rolling, basically. It's a very fluid and cool weapon. I love it.
Nişan almadan basmak da
chain
olur
is
bence ya.
essentially a ranged weapon, like you mentioned. It's taking the crossbow spot. So I cannot have both chain and crossbow, correct?
Yes, you cannot have them equipped at the same time.
Aynı anda sahip olamıyormuşuz crossbow'la şeye. Normal
I think
yani.
I'm gonna go with chain, not crossbow, because I always had issues with crossbow. With the aim, I'm sorry, I'm very bad at it. But also what we can see here, Geralt has multiple enemies sometimes, right? Does it work only when you're facing one, or if, for example, there were three, can you attack all three?
Well, there's this one swipe, right, that we
Swipe'ı
implemented.
Yeah, so I
varmış.
was just going to say,
3-4
yeah, I
kişiye
think so.
saldırıyor herhalde.
The chain is actually not just a ranged weapon; it's actually kind of in between the two, and I think that makes it a really cool, versatile weapon to really make the combat more fluid, as Kuba just said. And yes, we have the sweep attack, and we also have the longer range attacks,
Okay.
and then you can combine it with the finisher as well. So it gives it gives really a lot of diversity to the combat, and it makes it kind of, I think it really closes the gap between, you know, the ranged weapon that was in the base game and the close combat
Kıvant
that you have
gösterecekler şimdi.
from, you know, just the two swords and the signs. And this is really, I think it was missing in the combat as well. Also, like you said, the crowd control aspect of it I mean, in the end, I think with the chain and the crossbow and the signs and the swords, I think we really got a much more modern gameplay and combat system now. Yeah, it's really good.
Also, this is an open world game, of course. We don't have an idealized combat arena. This is very diverse. All the situations, the amount of enemies that we are facing ends up with a dynamic situation. Almost every single time you're facing multiple enemies. And this is what the chain will prove really, really useful in. As both of the guys said, it's great for crowd control, because if you want to pick someone who you want to deal with first, you can hoist them out from the crowd and deal with them in a quick fashion if you have the sufficient adrenaline points, of course, because this does not come free. Or if you just want to keep distance with everyone else, for you to like gather your thoughts and figure out what to do next, the swipe attack is ideal for that. So it's a quick reaction, gives you time, or gives you a great tactical advantage. It will not sort out every single situation, but it's a very valid addition to your roster of offensive features that you have at your disposal.
Yeah, for me, it's a perfect panic weapon. You know, when you get jumped by a lot of monsters, you just go like, and push it, and he swipes it. It's like a little bit of area cleared around you. So you can then work around like who you're gonna attack first and what to do next, you know.
Totally makes sense.
Also, it's a huge fan service, I think, because a lot of people were, I think, I remember looking for it. I was very happy when the idea was proposed and brought to life. Plus, my favorite supervillain anti-hero is Lobo, and he has something very, very similar. So it was really, really cool to see someone else like providing this opportunity in an interactive fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. And so on this, we very briefly, it was mentioned that the chain is also utilizing weak points.
Yes.
Is it limited to the chain, or are we bringing that into swords and signs as well?
You wanna take it?
I can take it. I can take it. I think I'm gonna be a bit vague about this. I'm not gonna spoil too much of the actual expansion. And like you said earlier, I mean, a lot of stuff is still work in progress. Yes, I'm not going to directly answer it now. But the weak points are actually really cool, and they also tie into this whole new combat system that diversifies the combat a lot.
I see on the gameplay where we have the chain and swarmians, right? They're like shiny points. Those are the weak points, right? So this is how they're indicated. So
so when he starts to aim, you can see the little like crosses on various
Çok vuruyoruz ama
joints.
ya. Böyle değildir herhalde oyun
And
ya.
This you need to aim at that.
Gereksiz fazla vuruyor yani.
does it cost anything?
Adrenaline points,
Zincirde
right?
özel yetenek ağacında
Yes, it
bir
does.
şey.
I mean, the full feature is still work in progress, like you said, but currently
Fazla
it ties
güçlü,
into
evet.
the adrenaline mechanic, so that if you, I don't know if you can see it here now, no, but if you aim at the weak point and then also have the amount of adrenaline that's necessary for the attack, then it will execute that attack or finisher on the enemy. So yeah, it doesn't just come for free, obviously, because that would be overpowered.
And if you don't have enough adrenaline, what happens?
So,
var mı yetenek ağacı?
I mean, I don't know if Kuba wants to chime in, but we have a range of different attacks with the chain itself. So it goes from the finisher, which is the most extreme, of course, to just a normal light attack. And then we also have the stronger attack and the pull. And then varying, like depending on whether you aim at the weak points, or if you aimed at a different part of the monster. And then on top, if you have the adrenaline points necessary for it, it will execute different animations and attacks.
Hikaye hakkında
I've seen a question in the chat about
çok
the
bir
chain.
şey yok. Sadece
Is
Dandelion'un
it
ana
going to
yurduna
be
gitmemiz var.
upgradable?
Sarı parlıyor.
We don't want to spoil too much. This is a little bit, you know, bordering on the story. So I don't want to get into that right now.
Absolutely okay.
Yeah.
Very, very cool. I guess, Peter, just in case you want to drop anything in, anything else you want to add on the chain before we maybe move to a slightly different topic?
Most of the answers were spoiled and blown by my fellas over there, so I don't really have anything other than my absolute enthusiasm that it really is as cool to use in combat as it looks.
Cool.
Awesome. Very cool.
Hiçbir şey söylememek
I
için
think it's a
götlerini
time for
yırtıyorlar
secret
ya.
password because we don't drop
Yes.
that now and then.
Okay, so it's been a little while since we shared the secret password. So for everybody that maybe is a newer viewer, we are doing a giveaway all throughout Gamescom. We have 5 goodie bags to give away for English streams, 5 goodie bags to give away for our German streams. And our requirement for entry is very simple. At the end of the day, when the YouTube stream goes live, oh, beautiful. When we have the VOD version of the stream up at the very end of the day, we would love to have you guys come back at the end of each day and tell us what your highlight was. So whether that was something that you learned about the game, maybe a tidbit of information that one of our devs have shared, maybe somebody has just made a reference to even your favorite moment of nostalgia point, something that you experienced in The Witcher 3. We would love to hear it, but you must include a secret password, which is very aligned with what we're doing at the moment, which is we are back on the path. So that is secret password.
I've also seen a quick question because it actually popped up a few times. Still within the
giveaway
chain
yapıyorlar ya.
range. Chain only comes with Songs of the Past.
Yes,
Yes.
but it's a very useful weapon for the base game as well and the other expansions.
Cool. Great.
Good to know.
Now
Yes.
back to what everyone
İyi,
is
açıkladılar
waiting
bunu.
for.
Yes, because we keep seeing it in chat. We
Şeyle geliyormuş. Yeni expansion'la geliyormuş ama diğer expansion'larla kullanabiliyormuşsun.
should
Yes.
definitely talk about it. Gwent.
Gwent.
Haritayı
Amelia,
verdiğime mi?
take us away.
Haritasını.
So we've already announced that new Gwent cards are coming. Is it, after all, it's new
Anlattılar bu
expansion,
zamana
right?
kadar. Oha.
Today we're gonna show you 4 Gwent cards, and we're gonna talk about them. Our developers have some cool stories, so just wait for them. And I think let's just start with
Ha, ona pişmanım evet.
how many Gwent cards are coming.
Yes, I can confirm that we are going to add Gwent to Songs of the Past, like you said already. And for the actual amount of Gwent cards, I can say that we have around 20-ish cards that we will add.
20.
Again, Songs
Okay.
of the Past is still in development, unlike the remaster. The Gwent cards will come with Songs of the Past, but I can spoiler some cool news actually
That's very
about the remaster.
Yeah, that's very cool.
But yeah, so around 20 cards, and we can say that for each faction there will be around 4 or 5 cards,
İyi.
and again for each faction there will be 1 hero card that will be added.
Cool.
And I can't actually spoil it too much. about
Sağdaki
Songs of the
abi biri
Past, and I have
spoiler
to
verecek diye
restrain
gözlerin
myself
içine
here.
bakıyor.
But there will be 1 new weather card as well added with a special effect that I can't talk about here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep it a secret for now.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yes.
But also, what about Gwent modding?
Yeah, exactly. Like I just said. So this is a really cool and close to heart topic for myself, because I was actually, when I started working for CDPR 6 years ago or something, I came from the modding background, and Benz and I with Yigsoft, we have a long history of modding the game. We developed the community modding tools, and I think so one of the coolest moments really was 2 years ago when we released the Red Kit, the public official modding tools for the game. And not everybody knows that, but the Red Kit actually is almost identical to the internal development tools that were used to create the old expansions and this new expansion now as well. So with that, it was actually, because I was tech lead on both the remaster and on the Songs of the Past project, it was an interesting technical problem how to add these Gwent cards to the Songs of the Past expansion. And there's an interesting parallel between modding and creating expansions, because both of them, changed the base game. And with the parallel development of remaster and Songs of the Past, we needed to have good technical solutions so that the Gwent cards do not land in the remaster, right? Before we want them. And Kuba knows the discussions we had, how to actually pull it off. But we did pull it off, and the cool thing is that because of that, because of the expansion, Gwent modding and creating modifications to the base game that add new cards or new decks is much easier now. It's like we de-hard-coded a lot of stuff from scripts and from C++ into text files you can just change. So it's like unbelievably easier now to add new cards to the game and new decks. And we needed that because designers from Fool's Theory needed to do the exact same thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the most exciting thing about it is that if the players find out after the Songs of the Past release that actually there is no Astrida card, the question from the previous stream, they can just add it. They can just add it. You can add whatever you want into those cards. So this is very, very, very cool.
I think I want to wait for Grandma card.
I got to play with Grandma.
Peter, I actually have a question for you, like related to Gwent, because you have those mini games, right? We had poker, we had dice poker, right? We have Gwent.
Dice poker, yes.
How important is to find the right Gwent, or how hard it is to find the right mini game for such a wild and great game as it is, and big game, right? How it fits correctly into all of you, for you, and what you want to say.
Mm-hmm. So it's really important to fill every fun gap, especially in a game that offers so much opportunity for the player to play in their own pace and rhythm. There are many theories detailing what kind of elements you require. My favorite example that I like to give my level designers is Super Mario. It has easy fun and hard fun. Easy fun is the Super Mario coins that you gather. It's just rewarding to pick them up. Hard fun is climbing all the level design challenges and completing the level. And of course, in an open world game like ours, the range of interactions is much more diverse. And a mini game like this offers a great way to disengage from all the other adventuring and get into something that has a slightly different pacing, slightly different rhythm, but still takes you back and keeps you in the original vibe of the lore. And Dice Poker and Witcher 1 was perfect for this, and Gwent is just freaking brilliant in Witcher 3. I'm not a huge Gwent player myself, but I totally realize the necessity for something like this that lets you engage in small talk with the people that you play with. Also, the cool metaphors that the cards in functionality offer to understand the role of that specific character, that specific asset, whatever in the big picture in the lore. So I think this is perfect. It fits perfectly between two sword fights, resolving a major political situation. So I think the guys back in the days when they designed it figured it out pretty well.
Yeah, and also you touched upon one very important thing. The new players that you find to play Gwent in the area, those are just not random people that we decide, okay, you're gonna play that guy.
Exactly.
There's a lot of effort and consideration taken into who is a Gwent player and who not, and where he lives, what to do, where to ease that tension on your path as you progress through the quest, right? Like you in the world department have a lot of effort put into that.
So
this is something I wanted to touch up on, definitely. That Gwent is not just an extra layer of butter on the adventure that we have. It's heavily embedded in the local vibe, the local folklore. Just like yourself, when you're expecting to find Grandma in the cards or as a player, these expectations are totally valid and quite popular among players. And I think it caters to the vibe tremendously on how we determine who's going to be an active player, where where you can find the active players, how the culture of playing Gwent intertwines with everything else that the local folklore has, like the habit of people. Like maybe there's going to be a bigger challenge, not just individual Gwent matches, but I really don't want to go into like any specific detail. But it's going to be a fun and really prominent part of the whole experience. So when you're like calling out to Gwent players to pay attention, I think it's well-founded.
Cool. I think now is the time to show.
We've teased it. We should do it. Let's see the cards.
Let's see the cards. So
Hadi
let's
kartları
start with
görelim.
also a new monster, right? Swarm Mother.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that card?
Well, she's the mother of the hive. A typical, tribal kind of a mechanic where
Hive'ın
one
Türkçesini unuttum.
calls out to the
Arıların
others
saklandığı
and flushes
neydi
your
lan
board.
arıların saklandığı yerin adı?
She's close range
Yuvası.
or mid.
Siri konuşulmadı.
Yes, she's close range.
Close range, yeah.
Yeah, and will be added to the monster deck. And
Go on.
as many of the monster deck cards, she has the ability to summon the next card.
Benim adım
Swarmians.
Elvan Dalton.
My God, we cannot get rid of them.
Aha kovan.
Yeah, they were already
So cool.
featured in the last stream, right?
Yeah. So as you can see, he's in the act of pilfering the apiary. Sorry, was missing a word over here because, as we mentioned in the previous stream, those guys are very attracted to the honey, which is very densely produced in the area of Letten. Yeah. So Swarmians, your
Hangi desteğe
typical
geliyor?
new cannon
Monster.
fodder, different abilities,
Canavarlara geliyor.
different play style that we're gonna add. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
And they are also close combat.
Yes.
Ömer'e döndüm
Exactly.
bir anda
And
lan.
they have the tight bond ability, where they, stack the power with other Swarmion cards next to them.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
So basically, when you're playing with Broodmother and Swarmions, like Swarmother and Swarmions, you become a very in-your-face player. Like you push your
Yeni
opponent
fraksiyon
and really
yok.
put pressure on them.
Yeah, nice. And I guess
And just one more thing I want to add, like if you pay close attention to the Swarm Mother's art, by the way, which I really, really like, you will see that there is not just the creature, but the environment that dresses her presence. And these guys are going to be, well, not everywhere, but you can encounter them in the wilderness.
Ya oğlum bize lagaluga yapmayın ya. Bize lagaluga yapmayın. Şu karakter dizaynını, çevresindeki dizaynını gördük yani. Şeydeki tükürüp bizi kör eden vardı ya. Adlarını unuttum. Çevresinde böyle gark olanlar vardı. Neydi lan onlar? O aynısı amına koyayım. Ha, fark yok yani.
In Songs of the Past. So you will have tremendous fights involving both of their kind, and their environments look
su
freaking
cadısı.
stellar. I'm extra proud on what our environment artists came up with, how to dress their living
Onun
habitats.
arılısı.
so cool. And I guess it would be safe to assume that Swarm Mother and Swarmians would be added to the monster faction. Correct.
Biraz daha
Correct.
yaratıcılık
Okay.
beklerdim şimdi.
So-
Yani
The next card
Yani.
that we want to show. Let's talk about the Brewmaster of Lit.
aha.
Yeah, so I'll give a little bit of a context. Peter can add even more on it because his department is doing an amazing job. Letten is a place of plenty, but one of the
Biraz
things
da
that they do
Gragas
produce
geldi.
is braggot, and braggot is a type of a beer where you used honey to make it. It's a very sweet and full beer. So it's obvious that we have brewmasters, we have brewery, right? We have apiaries, etc. So this guy is a pretty important person in the whole chain of production in Letten, so to say. Yeah.
what else to add to this? Like Letten is a cozy place. It's definitely not on the huge side like Novigrad, but it does have an industrial side to it. And one of their main trades is, of course, producing braggot and all the related grains, which is honey is not a grain, but malted grains are definitely required for this, and hops, which gives it a special little taste. And the guy who knows best like how to mix these things together, produce the best braggot in the neighborhood, is this guy featured on this amazing piece of concept art.
Amazing. And so, where do we place Mr. Brewmaster on the board?
On the enemy board, actually. And
Ajan mı lan? Zarar
it's a
verecek
very
kesin.
interesting card because it allows for more interesting gameplay, of course. You place it on the enemy side of the board,
Ajan
and
değil
then
herhalde.
you will get a random card from the enemy's hand
Karşıya
into your
koyuyoruz,
hand.
random kart geliyor bize.
So yeah, a bit more of a strategic card.
Super cool.
So you can steal cards from your enemies. You know.
Yes.
And for the players, where would one be picking up the card from?
Merchants.
Yeah,
Merchant'tan
so
alıyormuşuz.
like Peter already said, the Gwent
Of
is
course,
not
the snake.
just a mini game that is not disconnected from the world. It's
Monte
closely
Carlo mu?
integrated into the game itself, and you will be able to get these cards from merchants. And I'm not gonna spoiler more here. Yeah.
That's we are already spoiling enough, I think, at this moment.
For real, yeah.
And we have one more card.
We do have one more card, our last card for today that we want to show, Gremist.
Yeah, the farm terrorist. Oh no, this one, not this one. Sorry, I thought you were gonna do. No, never mind. Never mind. Don't worry about it.
Okay, so what can we tell everybody about Gremist?
Yeah, finally he's in Gwent now, in the
Yes.
decks, I think. And a bit more of a normal card, has the healer ability, and is played just normally on your own side. But I'm really happy to have
Healer.
him now in the cards. Yeah.
Koymuşlar.
Very cool. And where is Gremist going on the board?
Range it.
Range kısmına
What
koyuluyormuş.
faction?
Skellige.
Kalite
Oh,
faction'ında.
Ryan will be super happy, I
He
guess.
was happy.
Ryan's gonna be super happy.
Yeah.
Yine Ryan'dan bahsedeceğim
What do you
Ryan'ımıza.
guys think about all those 4 cards? Do you have any favorite cards that we showed today? Or maybe you have something else?
Yes. I mean, I do absolutely have a favorite card.
bakıyoruz.
It's the coolest card that we've designed, I think. Unfortunately, it's not in the 4 cards that we've just shown. So, but yes, it's going to be the goose card.
The farm terrorist.
Yeah, exactly.
Mine favorite as well.
And-
Danger chicken.
Yeah, danger chicken, exactly.
Yeah, I'm holding back here, but it's a really cool card, and it basically will allow so much strategy to to your playstyle. It would add so much to your playstyle, and it will add a lot of different ways to approach situations in Gwent, and I can't wait to play with it, really.
Will there be any Gwent cards that are connected to the story in terms of I need to finish this, I don't know, quest or get to that part of the game to get a card? Or do I buy everything from a merchant and then my girl is broke?
There are some cards that are spoiling the story. That's why you cannot really.
We are not showing them.
Her kartı
we're not
merchant'tan
showing them,
alamıyoruz
but
özetle.
I don't want to get into how you get them because I'm gonna spoil the story.
Yes.
Makes
So
sense.
they are story locked,
yeah.
quote unquote cards. Cool.
Very, very cool. So I guess
Görev yaparak alacağımız
Question
kartlar da var. Store lock.
open to the floor here because I think there's so many different discussions to be had. But how do you decide, of all the ideas you have behind the Gwent cards, how do you choose and narrow down the ones that you select to put into the game? What's the process? What's the thinking? Moritz is like, don't
it's
get me.
so hard. It's so hard, honestly. It's so hard. I mean, we've all known this from developing games. The hardest part is always to finalize the design, I think. and to
Yeah. But a big shout out to Dennis Sotebier over here, our in-house expert on Gwent, who basically has all the cards up here locked down and was working very closely with Ixoft on narrowing down the design to those specific cards. Yeah.
Absolutely, but I mean, as Peter mentioned earlier, and I think I wanted to make the same point, but he did it before me. But as Peter mentioned, Gwent is just such a not only from the gameplay perspective integrated into the game, but it is obviously a game inside the game. So developing Gwent means involving so many different departments and people, and needs so many decisions on so many levels. Like, you probably don't know it if you just play the game, but into developing a feature that involves Gwent comes concept art, concept artists, programmers, the story narrative teams, the world team. Almost no part of the game is untouched.
Yeah.
When you add Gwent.
Yeah, and then when you change something in the story during the development process, you then sometimes have to change the card, which then changes the whole mechanic, which then changes your balance, and it just keeps on rolling. So it's not an easy thing, but I hope the players will love it. What we cook together with
definitely, and
our efforts,
the collaboration with Dennis. I mean, Dennis is so enthusiastic about Gwent. It's amazing, and working together with him was really good. He was driving the design questions, really. Sometimes we had to hold him back. But yes, the collaboration was really good, and Yixoft and Fullsteria and CDPR, we all iterated on the process a long time. Yeah.
Yep.
So we obviously talked about Gwent, and I want to circle back to Chain a little bit. Chain or sword and Signs combo? Which one you're gonna pick until the end of your Witcher 3 playstyle?
Well, I already said it's my favorite panic weapon, but Chain is a complementary weapon to the swords, right? So there's no one without the other. But I do personally like to play a sword build, so it complements my playstyle. But the fun thing about the Chain itself is that no matter if you play like alchemy, signs or swords, it's as useful as in any other builds. So yeah.
I'm just gonna be signs. Was always signs.
Yeah, signs is the. I was a sign guy for a long time, but then swords. It's simple. You just stuck it in an enemy and it dies.
I was so happy with Blood and Wine, where we had all these additional mutations and playstyles with signs.
Yeah.
That really was a favorite of mine. And
But on that note, I'm very excited for the combat rework that the Ixoft prepared for the remaster. Like, the new skill tree cleans up a lot of clutter and makes it easier to read and easier to understand what you're getting into yourself. So very hyped for that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Peter, what about you?
Panic weapon all the way. Like, I'm a world director, so I'm terrible at planning, obviously. So I really prefer quick reaction tools of the trade, for which the Chain is just way too perfect. I can just swing it around and everybody stands back. So much like work.
Fair. I think I'm also a bit of a panicker. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, I think I'm also gonna go Chain and sword combo. I think that's gonna.
But I do love signs. I just think this is super cool. I feel like the Gwent crowd, we're reading all the comments as they come in, and everybody's so curious about the Goose card, which is very cool, but not yet, guys, not yet. I guess, Peter, just on, circling back, because I feel like we sort of answered everything already, but I'm very curious to also just hear from your side of things, if there is a change or a decision that gets made in the Gwent process, how's that now come back to you as world director? And then are you having to think, particularly for the story-related things that we will not share, about how the player now will receive and interact with that card? How much does it sort of come back onto you and your team?
So this overlaps on multiple levels. First, you've seen the art, and we've already mentioned that a lot of art assets make it onto the concept art. Also, the concept art can inspire world art tremendously. So it's always a two-way communication, as it should be between all departments. So this can affect it. There's the availability of the cart, where it will be implemented, at what point of the story will it be implemented, like who is going to provide it to the player, when in the story progression are they going to provide it, and that affects density, of course, because this particular piece of content might be close to other contents that makes it a necessity to either move this guy further away or the other element of density a little further back, and so on. So it's really a trickle down domino chaos storm effect, that things and factors that you didn't even consider that might change something else, like a butterfly, could end up like in the furthest part of the map. Maybe that monster is removed, redesigned, interacts with the environment differently, so the card functionality has to be changed, or they figure out the cool card functionality that sounds like a great idea that we would like to apply as an open world effect. So this can happen in so many ways.
Fair. So it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are slowly coming up on time for the stream, unfortunately, because I feel like we could talk Gwent for hours.
Look, we could just maybe take some Gwent cards and play, but we don't have that time.
We don't have the time, unfortunately. So I wanted to just ask all three of you, do you have anything else that you might want to share with the community? Any words before we leave it here?
Well, there was actually a question that I noticed in the chat that has been popping up. Why now, and why the decision to make a remaster alongside the DLC? So we've been talking about it whole day today because a lot of people ask that, and the answer is basically that the same as why are we doing like modding of Gwent, right? Few things had to, like stars had to align, few things had to click together. The reason why remaster is coming alongside the DLC, the expansion, is that because we had a certain ambition to realize in Latin itself, and it wouldn't be possible without the remaster changes. Basically, it's a huge world with a huge leg in the middle, and the density of the foliage is unseen on the previous scale, and there are just so many things I could talk about for the whole day. But even the realization of Latin itself, how we want to perceive the community that lives there, right? So we mentioned that they do honey, they do braga, they have horse breeding, sheep, etc. But because the design process at Full Theory and CDPR is so meticulous in terms of believability in the world, we had to do things like, okay, if we want to have a braggot brewery, we want to show people gathering hops and transferring that hops to the brewery. They cannot just carry it on their backs because we're going to have like people walking back and forth with packages all the time. So we introduced the carts, right, that NPC now can ride. So, and it was done solely for the purpose of you walking down the road and seeing a guy carting the barrels from the brewery to the bar, and you can feel that, okay, I'm in a place that is very focused on brewing braggot. And this is just a very, very small example, but it required a lot of work in how road works, how pathfinding works, how community understands that there's a cart coming their way and it's going to run them over. And, those little things and little changes that Remaster introduces that you're going to see in this enormous patch notes that they're going to show you, all those little changes are done on a purpose, and that, like, part of the purpose is that we wanted to deliver something in Latin that will serve a purpose to tell you a story about this area. So that's why those two things got interconnected, because we had a certain ambition in how we want to portray the land of Dandelion.
Yeah, I think.
And this is such a typical example of one thing led to another, because then what we achieved with cards inspired so much else. that I'm not sure we are at liberty to talk about. But it really expanded the game beyond the initial vision. Like, it's still manageable, of course, but it's much more than what we first anticipated we're going to be doing.
Yes, definitely. And I was also the lead on the card feature from the Ubisoft side. Again, another, like Gwent, of those features that just touches so many different departments between Fool's Theory, CDPR, and Ubisoft. But I wanted to, I think it's correct what you said. I think the question is not why was Remaster and Songs of the Past developed in parallel. The question is, how could it not have been?
Yeah.
Because creating a new expansion for a game that is 10 years old necessitates that we also update a lot of the engine, of the features, of the lighting, and of all the things that are in the background of a modern expansion.
Yeah,
So
even the density of the foliage, we knew that Latin needs to be very dense. And then somebody asked us a question, okay, but how are you going to ride a horse through that? And we're like, we need to talk to Ubisoft about it, And the guy started working on improved horse handling, and that's what you saw in the review trailer yesterday.
Yeah, amazing. Well, we will be talking about Remaster because I've seen also some comments about that. We have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to talk about everything Remaster-wise. So, guys, stay tuned. I think you can see the full schedule on our social media channels. So you can drop by and check the schedules. They will be posted every single day in the early morning. So don't worry, you will not miss a thing.
They're there so you can plan when you're coming by. And
Yes.
we hope you will be here for all of it, but we understand that everybody has lives. So
Yes.
whatever you can be here for would be great. But on this note, thank you so much for joining us, guys. It's been so great. And thank you for jumping online again for us. Peter, we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I guess we are going to wrap up here. For the chat that is understanding German language, good news for you guys. We have our German team jumping on in about 30 minutes' time. And Moritz will actually be coming back to join them as well.
that's correct.
And from there, Amelia and I will rejoin you again at about 6:30 p.m. CEST to do a final wrap of the day and give you a rundown of everything that happened. But on that note...
And tomorrow we're back with more Songs of the Past.
Absolutely.
So stay tuned.
Yes, absolutely. But on that note, thank you.
Thank you
so much, everybody. And thank you,
Thank you
chat.
very much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Take care and have fun. See ya.
Evet. Bitti. Fena değildi. Ne diyorsunuz? Bundan önceki son diş fırçalamam 1 ay falan oldu herhalde ya. İşte. Fena değildi yani. Okey. Zaten bir sürü şey gösterdiler. Bitmedi. Nasıl? Oğlum bundan sonrakiler Almanca ya. Aynı şeylerin Almancaları olacak. Başka bir şey yok. 10 üzerinden 6 veririm. O da çok uzun sürmesi falan filan. O yüzden yani. Böyle bir güzel kokalım ya. Her yerimiz güzel koksun. Zincir evet bir tık game changer değil. Lakin şeyle belki olur. Yani oyun içinde diğer skill'lerle kullanarak belki game changer haline getirebilirler. I don't know. But we will see. What happens in the back? Ne oldu lan? Amına koyayım yayın gitti bir anda geri geldi tamam. Abi duş almaya gidiyorum git kardeşim. Evet değerli dostlarım. Can arkadaşlarım. Yol arkadaşlarım. Var mı söylemek istediğiniz bir şey? Ben Gidenzi. Ufaktan Gidenzi. Yarın sabah açacağım mı yayın? Yarınki abi yarına çok yorgun olabilirim. Kim bilir bilmiyorum ya bakarız. Yarınkiler çok sıkıcı olabilir. Deneriz. Görüşürüz güzellik. Yarın çok bir şey yok gibi ama bakabiliriz ya. Esenlikle kar kırar. Kar kırar. O zaman bal böceklerim yayına geldiğiniz için teşekkür ediyorum. Üyelik atan, bağış atan çok değerli dostlarıma da ayrı ayrı teşekkür ediyorum. Bu kadar. Önümüzdeki yıllar zaten Witcher yılları. Bay bay.